ったら俺個人がどんな人間なのか興味はあるか？
何？
かけっこくらいは勝負してやってもいい。
面白い。
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it is. Hi everyone, my name is Mimi and welcome to my channel. And today I'm going to be reacting to Classroom of the Elite, Season 2, Episode 6. Adversity is the first path to truth. Last episode, the sports event started and Okuji told, I believe it was Karuizawa, that their submission form has been leaked and Ryuen has been taking advantage of that in order to hurt Sudo and Horikita. It's so much so that Horikita got injured and Sudo decided to quit the games. And then Ushida approached Horikita and told her that the girl that they bumped into or whatever was extremely hurt and in the infirmary, and they were calling her there. She gets there and Ryuen is there, basically cornering her, telling her that she is the one that hurt the girl so badly and that he was going to report it to the student council. And because her brother is the president of the student council, she didn't want that. She didn't want to create any problems for her brother. So she's like, okay. Well, it was Kushida that said, oh, you can settle this without going to the student council, right? And he's like, okay, let's settle it, but I want 1 million points and I want you to grovel. And then he gave Horikita until the end of the games in order to make her decision. And I believe Horikita said that there's only one thing that she can do right now, and that's why the episode ended. So I'm not sure what she's planning, but I'm hoping that whatever Ryuen wanted, he doesn't get. So that's what happened last episode. And before we get into this one, if you guys have my reaction, please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe, and please consider supporting me on Patreon at patreon.com/feelingme. And now let's start this episode, and here we go.
Okay guys, in case the reaction gets blocked and I had to cut out the reaction itself, you can just look in the pinned comment in the comment section where for the link to the reaction highlight itself, so you can just click on it, watch it, and then you just come back for my review.
堀北、
あなたが抜けてしまったら D クラスに勝ち目はなくなるわ。須藤君、体育祭に対しては真剣に取り組んでいたものね。けれど反省すべき点も多いわ。
うるせえよ。
そういう態度が問題なのよ。
マジ説教かよ。
Well, were you hoping to be sweet talked? That's not her style. Oh, is that the thing that she said she can do for the team, for Class D or whatever? Get Sudo to come back. I just finished watching an episode of Solo Leveling, and I'm really upset. The character died that I didn't want to see die. So it's like I am not in a good mood right now. And I feel like the only way I can get out of my funky mood is if Ryuen doesn't get what he wants.
ヘドが出んだよ、説教は。運動ができりゃ、それだけで体育祭は楽勝だと思ったんだよ。
でもそれだけ。
注目を浴びて尊敬っつうの。だせえな。
Not really.
クズの両親から生まれたクズだ。
人がどうなるかは他人のせいにしていいことじゃない。自分自身が決めるものよ。
どういう意味だよ。
あなたはまだ何者でもない。何者になるかは自分次第よ。このまま逃避行を続けるのなら、私はあなたに本当にクズの烙印を押すわ。
だったら勝手に押してくれ。戻れよ、堀北。
あなたを連れて帰るまでは戻れない。戻ってくるのを待つ。
櫛田、
ちょっと待って、すぐ結び終わるか
お
ら。
前だよな。D クラスの参加表を C クラスにリークした裏切り者は。
いきなりどうしたの？ 冗談にしてもひどいよ。
そうでもなければここまで都合よく C クラスにやられたりしない。
参加票が漏れることは分かってたんだよね。じゃあどうして後で参加票を変えなかったの？
無意味だ。
私は犯人じゃ
茶柱先生に確認してみるか。参加票を提出した後でわざわざリストを見に来た生徒がいなかったかどうか。
ないよ。私が参加票の情報を漏らしたんだよ。
認めたか。
覚えてる？指紋付きの制服。
単なる確認だ。そして見返りを龍炎に求めた。
見返
お前が以前俺にお願いをしようとしていたことと同じなんだろ
り？なるほど。
This conversation is getting on my nerves.
私は堀北さんを退学させる。これは何を言われても変わらないから。堀北さんを退学させられればそれで満足なんだよ。
Oh, he came back.
それはね、綾野浩二君も私が退学させたい人リストにたった今入ったってこと。たち二人を排除した後。
Just because you said that, you just made me so happy because that's never gonna happen. Okay. So you can keep dreaming.
須藤君、私はこの1時間考えたの。そして思った。私とあなたは似ていると。会長のことは知っているわね。
あのすかしたやつか。
あの人は私の兄なの。優秀な兄さんは無能な私と関わり合うことを嫌っている。
お前は頭もいいし、スポーツだってできんだろ。
に追いつくために私は周りに目もくれず走ってきた。その結果がいつも一人。それでいいと思っていたのよ。競技で活躍すれば兄さんの目に留まるんじゃないかと淡く期待したと気づいたの。私は優秀なんかじゃないし、選んだ手段も間違っていた。一人では無理。兄さんに認めてもらうために、恥ずかしくない人間になるために努力する。もしあなたがまた道を踏み外しそうになったなら、その時は私が連れ戻す。卒業するまでの間、あなたの力を私に貸して。私もあなたに全力で力を貸すことを約束するから。
なんで今のお前の言葉はそんなに重いんだろうな。
Because you like her.
私にあなたの力を貸して。
堀北。くそ、協力するぜ堀北。お前の気持ちに応えたい。
Now that smile is just gonna be engraved in his mind for like forever.
俺が切れたせいで平田を怪我させちまったし、士気も下げた。
須藤君。
最終競技全力でやらせてもらう。
もちろん須藤君に任せるよ。
私はダイソーをお願いしてもいいかしら。
津田さん、お願いできるかな。
いいよ。
悪いんだけどさ、俺も棄権させてもらえないか。となると男子からも一人代わりになる必要がありそうだね。じゃあ俺が走ってもいいか。
お前たちのクラスを観察していたが、救いようのないクラスだと思っていた。
もし変わったんだとしたら、あんたの妹が変えたんだ。
そうか。
だったら俺個人がどんな人間なのか興味はあるか。
何？
かけっこくらいは勝負してやってもいい。
面白い。
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it is. Is he actually gonna try?
大崎です、先輩。
先輩。
勝負の前にあんたに一つ言っとく。
なんだ？
全力で走れよ。
Is he actually trying to try it? Charlie?
今までの人生でだだっ広い世界を本気で走ったことなどなかった。
So he's actually doing it.
ほら、もっと加速するぞ。
Did he win? Ah.
赤組勝利めでたいってことで、ポイントとしては全クラスがそれぞれ交代しているわけだから、痛みは会長には結局勝てなかったしな。
Also he didn't?
それは仕方ないでしょう。前走ってた人がこけたんだ。
Oh, okay.
言い直したぜ、綾野浩二。火事場のバカ力ってやつだな。
Sure.
それじゃ説明できないわね。嘘つき。
痛いぞ。
あなたが最初からあの感じで走っていれば状況は違ったのに。今回は完敗だわ、本当に。でも私はこの体育祭で一回り成長させてもらえた気がするの。
成長できたと思うならそれでいいんじゃないか。
このクラスは強くなるわ。そして必ず。
Is this the last episode of the season?
何？
ちょっと背筋がゾッとするくらい似合わないな。
けどこの先課題は山積みよ。片付けなきゃならない近くの問題もあるし。
問題？
よう、逃げずによく来たな、鈴音。
あなたとの話の前に、いい加減茶番は終わりにしない？
どういうことか
そして龍炎くんと一緒にいるのもうまくことを運ぶため。違う？
な。やだな、そんな話誰に聞いたのかな。
いい加減向き合うべきなんじゃないかしら。
向き合うって何に？
思い出したわ。あなたのような人が私の中学にいたってことをね。
だったもんね。話がつながったならもうわかるよね。私がどうしたいと思っているのか。
でもそれはあなたにとっても大きなリスクじゃないかしら。
万一私のことを誰かに話したら、その時は徹底的に追い詰めてやる。
私のことなど無視すればいいじゃない。
私が私であるためには過去を知る人は全部いなくなってもらわないと困るんだよね。
なんだ。
私はあなたを退学にする。そのためになら悪魔とも組む。
だとさ。
今回の一件もあなたの企みよね。
被害妄想だな。そうだな。俺は体育祭が始まる前、桔梗に D クラスの参加票を全て入手させ手に入れた。
偶然も味方した。
偶然？
私が続行不可能な怪我を負ったこと、木下さんが自分から転んで大怪我をしたこと。
Really, girl?
木下の怪我が偶然なわけがあるか。
Really?
それって
から痛がる素振りだけをさせて体育祭の舞台からドロップアウトさせた。
これ録音モードにしてあるわ。あなたが私を訴える。私はこの証拠を持って戦うわ。
俺は最初に言ったぜ。あくまでも今のは架空の話。
あなたが妄想だと告げた部分を削除することだってできるのよ。
その時はオリジナルを出す。土下座しろ、スズメ。
分かったわ。
お前の裏で糸を引いてやがるやつは最高だぜ。 D クラスの堀北スズメをはめるため、潰すためにはどうすればいいか、その策を授けてやる。何でもいいから転倒すんだよ。あとは俺が怪我を負わせてあいつらから裏切り者はうちにもいたわけだ。利用されたんだよ桔梗。こんな録音を用意できるやつだ。簡単には尻尾を出さないだろうが。スズネ、今回はこれで終わりだ。
Now my mood is way better than it was when I got into this episode. Like I told you guys, I was upset. The only way I would not be upset is if Ryuen doesn't get what he wanted, and he didn't get what he wanted. So I'm like, I am so super happy. Super happy. Super happy. Okay. Last episode, when last episode ended, Susune said she had something to do, right? And that something that she was going to do is to convince Sudo to come back and continue the sports festival. And she was able to do that. She basically shared her experience with Sudo, how she feels about her brother, how she feels inadequate, and how she feels like her and Sudo were alike. And the way she basically spoke to him from the heart, it got to him and he also came back. So basically she sort of made him her weapon, which is something that Ayano Koji wanted her to do last episode, right? While all of that was happening with them, you had Ayano Koji and Kushida talking, and he basically straight up asked her if she was the traitor. She at first tried to deflect, but with Ayano Koji's persistence, she told everything. And then she's like, but you're not gonna tell anybody because of that incident that happened last episode. Oh, friggity frack. Because of what happened previously, 1 second. So, during that episode where after he discovered how crazy she was, and then she blackmailed him, telling him that should he tell anybody that she was going to accuse him of the R word. And we have not, you see her in the meantime doing her cutesy stuff when it comes to Ayano Koji, hugging him. I'm like, go away. So she brought that up this episode, and it's like, you're not going to tell anybody, because if you do, I still have the thumbprint on my shirt. And when I'm like, okay, whatever. And then Koji asked him, like what do you want with Horikita, basically? And she's like, she wants Horikita to be expelled. And once that's done, she's going to basically cooperate with Class D. She's going to work with everybody, and they're going to try to get a Class A, whatever. And then she's said that she now added another name to the list of people that she wants expelled. And then she said Ayano Koji was on that list. And I'm like, girl. Ayano Koji's methods, sometimes I'm like, ugh. But you wanting him to be expelled, you just digging your own grave, man. That's just, that sentence, when she said that, it made me so happy. Because I just felt like, if anyone is gonna be expelled, it's not gonna be him, it's gonna be you. Okay, so that statement just made me so happy that she said that she wanted him to be expelled. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Do you know who he is? Well, it's not like I know who he is. I've seen the things that he's been doing, so I know between him and you are nothing compared to him. So that, her just saying that, it just made me. Okay, so that happened. Ayano Koji, Kushida. No, not Kushida. Horikita comes back with Sudo. Sudo apologizes to everybody, and then he's like, let's attack this final event together. And they were doing it. While they were doing the event, the president of the student council, Horikita's brother, goes up to Ayano Koji, and he's like, I thought your class was basically done, but now I see things have changed. And Ayano Koji's response to that was that if anything has changed, it's because of Horikita. And I think he meant that because he said that because of the fact that Horikita was able to convince Sudo to come back, thereby, bringing the morale back up and everything. But we all know that he's also behind Horikita herself. So it's like if it's anyone that's doing things, it's him, And he just straight up tells the president if he wanted to know more about him, and that he would let him race him or something or other or like that. And I'm like, oh, okay. And the race actually happened. I'm like, what? Is he actually gonna give it his all? Because ever since the show started, he's been trying to keep himself like down low. Even during when they were measuring your strength or whatever, he calculated how much he can exert, and then he just exerted enough to place himself somewhere over there or whatever. So it's like he has not been using his full abilities ever since the show started. So when he was like, let's race, and then he told the president to give it his all, I'm like, who? And then they actually started racing, and they were like bypassing everybody. And I'm like, what? Is he actually gonna win? But then they didn't actually show us the ending of the race. They just said that the president won, but then they said that someone fell in front of Ayanokoji. So I'm guessing that's why Ayanokoji didn't win. Had that person not fallen in front of him, I feel like he would have won. Because he said they were sort of like neck and neck, whatever the term is. Like they were like at the same level, it seemed like at one point. And then the president just turned around, looked at Ayanokoji, and had a smile on his face. Ayanokoji turned and looked at him, and his face was just blank. And then after that, he's like, okay, time to speed up, And then that's where it all went white, and we didn't see how it ended. So I feel like if they were neck and neck, and he's like, now let me speed up, assuming that the president was already running full tilt, then that means that Ayanokoji will be faster than the president. But we didn't see that, so okay. And then after that, when they were in the classroom, if I told you that I didn't really look at the results. It just seemed like in the big scheme of things didn't really change position-wise. Like all the classes and everything, it didn't really do anything for everybody. That's what I got from what they were talking about, but I wasn't really looking at the ranks and everything. Horikita punched him in the gut, and it's like you could have, with your abilities, we could have placed even higher if you've been doing your thing since the beginning. And then she's like, she's learned a lot, she's grown a lot throughout this, and that there are some immediate problems that they needed to deal with, meaning her in particular when it comes to heroine. So she goes after the festival. Of course, Kushida's there. She goes because I'm like, okay, assuming that I didn't know anything about Kushida, and that yes, she called Horikita to the infirmary where everyone and them talked about what she needed to do and everything. Assuming we didn't know anything about her plans, her hatred for Horikita, when it came to groveling, why would you be there? Why would Kushida need to be there? It was something that was supposed to be happening between Ryuen and Horikita. Horikita was supposed to grovel to Ryuen. Why would she need to be there? Her place shouldn't have been there. But because this was all part of her plan, she wants to see Horikita humiliated and everything. She was there. And Horikita just basically told her to drop the act. And at first, again, she was playing coy. But then when Horikita mentioned that she remembered a girl like her back in middle school, that's when her whole facade dropped. And then I was trying to glimpse what the situation was between them during middle school. And I felt like, first of all, Kushida was a troublemaker, seemed like, in middle school. And I know at one point during their discussion during this episode, Horikita was like, why didn't you just ignore me? You know, that I don't really meddle with other people's affairs. I don't have a habit of meddling with other people's affairs. At first, before she said that, at first I was thinking, okay, if Kushida was this troublemaker in middle school, and Horikita being the kind of person that she is, I feel like I was about to say, I feel like she wouldn't let someone like Kushida disrupt her school life or something. But then I feel like she's also someone that would just, if things are happening, she would just like look the, I don't know if she would look the other way. I don't know. I just felt like maybe Horikita did something to maybe get Kushida in trouble or expelled or something because of her crazy behavior during middle school, and that's why Kushida has this hatred for her or something. That's what I was thinking. But then when Horikita was like, I don't meddle with other people's affairs, then I'm like, okay, so did you not meddle with her during middle school? And if you didn't, then why is she hating you? You know, like I was asking myself that, because we still don't know fully what happened between those two in middle school. So after she's, said that she wanted her expelled and that she doesn't want anyone that knows her past around her in the same school as her or whatever, and then everyone is like, so I guess I need to watch out for myself too, basically saying that she also knows about her past. So I guess we'll see how that plays out between those two. For now, they're working together. And then Ryuwen, as they were talking, Horikita asked Ryuwen basically to confirm that he was behind everything that was happening during the sports festival, and he's like, yeah. He said, hypothetically, if I were to indulge in your little fantasy, then yes, I did this, and when she got her, I told her to drop out, and then all these things. Basically, he revealed what he did to her, and then she pulled out her phone, and it's like, I recorded this, so you're not gonna be blackmailing me anymore, or something or other like that. And then he also pulled out his own phone. Because he figured that she would want a way to get out of this, so her recording their conversation and everything is, so I guess, something that he saw coming, and he was also recording their conversation, because at one point Horikita is like, I'll just take out the hypothetically out of the conversation, and then he's like, well, if you do that, then I'm just gonna bring up the original and all of that. So it's like Horikita was stuck. There was really nothing that she could do. And when Hiryuan was like, okay, grovel, she was going to. But then he received a message telling him to listen to something. And then when he listened to it, he was like, started laughing, and he's like, the person that's pulling your string is really good or something, or I don't know what I'm saying. And then he started playing the recording that he was listening to, and that recording was basically him giving an order to the girl that dropped out, that was her, basically confirming that nothing actually happened, that was Horikita's fault. And with that, he couldn't get Horikita to do what he wanted to do. And I'm like, yeah, And then he also said that after having heard that recording, he's like, okay, there's a traitor in my class as well. So it's like, Ayanokochi has put a traitor in, well, has put a traitor. I guess has convinced someone to be a traitor in Class C's camp. I wonder who that person is. Would it be that girl? What's her name again? The underwear thief during the survival test. I'm forgetting her name. Let me see if I remember. Ibuki. Is it Ibuki? It would not surprise me if it was Ibuki, because you could see that she harbors resentment toward Ryuen, because at times she would want to hit him, but then she stops herself. So it would not surprise me if it was her, but I don't know. Either way, whoever it was, it didn't happen. She didn't have to grovel in front of Ryuen. Ryuen did not get what he wanted, so I'm like super happy. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and if you like this reaction, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and if you want to see my reaction to the next episode, the link is gonna be in the pinned comment, so you can just click on it and you can watch it right now. And you can also watch all my previous Classroom of the Elite reactions. There's a playlist in the pinned comment as well. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye. All I ever wanted to do is know what's out there. I refuse to lose, we gotta fight for.